What's up, guys? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, for being subscribed. If you are not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening to this on YouTube while you're at it, go ahead and hit that like button. It's like walking into the room and hitting that light switch. Let's just go ahead and brighten up this place and let's get into this podversation/reality chat. I wanted to talk about Kenya and Mark and this divorce that has just gone on longer than the marriage. And I'm not even really speaking about the marriage so much, but it's this most recent episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I just happened to watch it recently in passing, and I don't get it. At the age that Kenya is at, and I like Kenya, so this isn't even coming from a place of someone that is labeled a Kenya hater or, whatever. I like her. I don't consider myself a fan of anybody. I like people for some things, and some people I don't like, some things I don't like about some people. I get it that she loves her daughter. She was waiting for a long time to have a child, and she finally had a beautiful little girl. But she had a beautiful little girl with a man that turned out to be absolutely horrible. And it's already bad enough that a lot of people felt like the marriage was fake. And I don't know. I never really felt like it was fake. Maybe foolish. Okay. But I didn't feel like it was fake. I don't know her well enough to say something like that. But I did feel that she got a bad rap when it came to the previous relationships that she had while she was on the show, because I did not believe Walter when she was on that first season she was on of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and he was doing interviews, going around on radio shows and saying that Kenya paid him to be her pretty much escort and act like he was in a relationship with her. I just felt that they didn't have a lot in common. They were probably dating each other, and she was trying to make it seem like things were further along than they actually were. And I felt like that was probably a surprise to him. But I never felt like he was telling the truth. I'm sorry, a man that is buying hair, wearing toupees, I don't really see them as 100% credible. And I don't see a woman paying a man that buys hair to act like you're in a relationship. So I just didn't buy that. I didn't buy that. But I heard on this recent episode where she was pretty much telling her gynecologist that she wanted to have another baby, and the gynecologist was absolutely honest with her. She said, "Look, your delivery was one of the roughest and hardest that I've seen in my career." And this gynecologist didn't look like somebody who just started out in the field, right? Not knocking anything about her age or anything like that, but she definitely looks like she's seasoned in the field of obstetrics and gynecology. So she was upfront and honest with Kenya, just let her know, like, look, you are of a certain age, and the delivery that you had last time, the cesarean, it was very, very difficult. Like, why would you want to go through that again? But she also started talking about the embryos. And this is what I really wanted to get to. She has these embryos. She speaks about wanting to give Brooklyn a sibling and a playmate. But this contract that she and Mark had, she said, when we did the embryos and, we did the contract, I feel like she was speaking to this gynecologist and obstetrics specialist like she was her attorney, or even maybe her therapist or counselor, because I feel that she was trying to be cordial and kind to her, but she probably wanted to say, like, this isn't my field of expertise. This isn't my ministry, mama. So I can't really get into the dynamics of this agreement that you made with your hopefully soon to be ex-husband, but the man that you are still married to, that you have been trying to divorce for the last several years. I just didn't understand that. But when I heard her say that, as soon as I heard her say this contract, They were married at the time. I assume that they were married when they did that, right? You let me know. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comment section. But I believe they were married at the time that they did this in vitro process, right? Because she was married even though they were living separately. Weird, but still, they were married. And married for a short period of time. And so when she said that she was pregnant, I remember when she announced her pregnancy on the reunion for whatever season that was, a lot of the ladies were kind of like shocked, but still trying to congratulate her, but still seeming like, are you being real? Are you telling the truth? But, you know, because also it was a short marriage. People were still trying to figure out what's the deal with that. And you are a woman of a certain age. So all of those factors, I feel like, played a role in people really questioning, was she really pregnant? And thankfully, little Brooklyn made it here and she has a healthy, you know, beautiful little girl. But when she mentioned this contract that they did when she did the, you know, embryo freezing process, they were married at the time. I don't really know many married people that go through in vitro together that are doing contracts about the eggs. Do you believe that that's normal? I don't. So I feel like her revealing that, it just really revealed a whole lot more about this relationship. I'm not here to say that Kenya's a horrible person for trying to do things in a way that may seem unconventional or may not, you know, really be normal for most people. I feel like she did, in my personal opinion, just being beautifully honest, I feel like she did a combination of trying to do something traditional but unconventional at the same time, because I feel like she wanted to have a child in wedlock because she is a woman of a certain age and that's what she's used to seeing, right? And she wanted to have that because I believe that because she didn't have it, and she also never had a relationship with her birth mother, which is something that she longed for, she wanted to give her child all of that. She wanted to be the best mother for her child, and she also wanted to have her child in a marriage. But we all know that just having a child in a marriage doesn't mean that it's going to be the best for the child and it's going to be a healthy situation, because obviously it has not been. One of the things that I have heard some people say about their ex-husbands over the years is that he may have not been the best husband to me, but he's always been a great father to my child or to our children. I've never heard her say anything really great about him being a father. I really haven't. And honestly, he sounds like a terrible person because he tried to fight her for custody as well as child support, wanting the home that she built before she even got with this sucker. So I just can't understand how she wants to try to be so traditional to say to the doctor, well, I don't really know many people that want their children to have multiple fathers. The first one was trash. Like, you're gonna risk having this horrible man be a father to another child that you would desire to have just for the sake of saying that your children have the same father? Screw that. Girl, go and get, you know, do the candy route, but they just won't have the same father. Who freaking cares? Who cares? Get someone who's going to be able to be a surrogate, carry that egg for you, get it fertilized by a donor because pretty much your husband is a donor. That's the way it's looking at this point in time. A donor that you married, that you had a contract with for the embryos. And it's just really crazy. I just don't understand this mindset. It's somewhat of, she needs to be deprogrammed, because this is what she has been, this is what she's been thinking all of these years. It's something that's been ingrained in her based on what she is used to seeing, maybe the teachings that she's gotten when she's grown up, because sometimes when you get to a point in your life when you have been taught so many things, you may not really agree with it or believe it, but you're trying your best to abide by it because it's all you really know. Similar to some people who may have grown up in a church and you knew that a lot of the things that were being taught in the church were were weird, strange, didn't make a lot of logical sense, but because it was what you were taught, you're trying your best to abide by it. And then when you get older, you're trying to break from it, but you still, in some ways, kind of go by what you were taught when you were growing up in the church. So I feel that she needs some deprogramming. I don't know if she's seeing a therapist. I truly believe that most of these people who are on these reality shows really need to be seeing a therapist on a regular basis because with the toxicity of the types of shows that she wants to be on, that she's been on for a very long time, it really isn't healthy. Look, I get it. They're getting their money. They're getting their recognition. They're noticed. They're well known. You know, some are considered celebrities and stars. Some are considered reality stars. Some are, considered personalities or influencers. But the higher you go up and the more recognition you get, you really need to stay grounded. And I feel that the mindset can really be attacked in a lot of different ways when you have so many different people coming at you, whether it's from a space of fawning over you, loving you so much where it's like fangirl standing. That's not healthy. Or the hate, because a lot of people talk about her body and, she's gotten a lot of ridicule about her skin texture and the way her butt looks. And you're paying for relationships and all this other stuff. You can't tell me that stuff doesn't get to you. You really need to be seeing a therapist on a regular basis. That's not saying anyone's crazy. I believe that there's a stigma in our country where, if someone's seeing a therapist, a psychiatrist or a psychologist or whatever, it's been, you're made to feel like you're insane or cuckoo or crazy or whatever. And it's not so. I just don't understand this contract situation when it comes to her wanting to have Brooklyn have a sibling that has the same father, but yet they created a contract while they were married. So I don't get that. I just wanted to talk about that because I just had some questions about it, trying to make sense of something that seems a bit senseless, but apparently, in my personal opinion, it was like she was trying to do both, have a traditional marriage, but do things in an unconventional way, because I believe that they did have some sort of agreement at this point in time. It's looking that way in terms of this relationship. And it's possible that the divorce is dragging on even longer because she may not be holding up to her end of the bargain, or he may, have flipped and tried to do things a little bit differently and trying to get a grasp on things that he doesn't deserve to have, like her house and, custody and other stuff like that. So you guys let me know your thoughts about all of that in the comment section below. Thank you so much for being here, joining me for this podversation behind the wheel as I'm driving right now. So this is sort of like a conversation. I really appreciate you being here, liking and subscribing. I'm Beth. I'm just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I just wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.